Who the fuck allowed that? My heart hurts. Don't know how I feel about him. Yeah, dark.
In the claws.
So I actually forgot to do an intro for this reading vlog. So hello, hi, welcome or welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be reading some romantasy books, specifically romantasy books that are not super popular. These books I've heard maybe like one or two things about it, but I haven't heard a lot of people talk about this book. I don't think it's very saturated in the book community as well. And I thought I would read them because I feel like sometimes you can find some hidden gems with these books. And obviously I'm filming this by the end. I have already read all of these books and you will see all of my reactions and my feelings towards them. If I can give you guys a spoiler, it goes from good to bad. Let us just get on with the video and you guys will see what I mean. Wow, I'm starving. I need to go and eat breakfast. But hello, we are starting off this reading vlog with our first book and I'm going to be picking up A Dance of Lies by Brittany Arena. I have bought this book a month ago, I think. And since then, I've heard great things about this book. People rating it 5 stars, people really loving it. So I wanted to read this and pick it up. And it is a shorter romantasy. It's not even 500 pages, so that's really good. I don't exactly know the storyline of this. I have read a little bit, like I think a chapter. I'm at page 14 right now, and from what I know, our main protagonist is Vasily Moron. She used to be a dancer in the King Alien's court, but then she got framed for murder and she has been in prison for 2 years, and then one day she gets called by the king to enter this dance. I don't know if it's a dance competition. Yeah, to pose as a dancer at the royal gathering to spy on his enemies, and then he'll grant her freedom. And then there is, I think, a chronic illness rep in this book. I think our main character has a chronic illness. I'm not too sure what exactly. The front page of this book, there is like an author's note where author talks about how this book is very dear to her because it talks about her having pain and physical limitations in her life, and she centers the main protagonist around that. So that is kind of interesting. I've never really seen that in a fantasy book before. We're gonna pick this up. I am excited. I have recently bought a lot of fantasy books and I don't know why. I wasn't planning on doing that, but I have bought a lot and I want to get through them really quickly, so I need to read a lot of romances, and this is our first pick, and hopefully we'll read a lot today because I don't have much to do and I'm really excited to pick this up. I feel like it's going to be a good book. So it is currently 8:30 and I have an update on my reading of Dance of Lies. I have reached part 2, King of Glass. This is page 153, chapter 15, and so far I am liking what I'm reading. It's on the confusing side in the sense where I don't know what the hell is going on. There are so many secrets to this plot, to the characters. I don't even exactly know our main protagonist very well. There's like a lot of secrecy behind her past and what she's doing and how she got there. I also have no idea who the love interest is. Everything is shrouded in mystery. I am just absolutely confused. This romantasy also really focuses on like court politics compared to like the world. I don't think there's any sort of like magic, and they don't really explain too in detail the other kingdoms except for their own kingdom, the kings, the people, the characters that are playing roles in this court, and like the politics, who they hate, who they like, who they want to kill, who they want to save. No idea what the hell is going on, no idea what's supposed to happen, just absolutely confused. I am going to continue reading throughout the night. I still have time. I think the positioning of this is kind of ugly. My camera ran out of batteries and the battery is currently charging, but I want to give an update before I continue, so I decided to use my phone. But I am still reading A Dance of Lies, but I have reached part 3, Queen of Souls, and right now I am at page 298. Oh, that's my bookmark. Finally, we're getting the plot. We're only following Vasily's point of view, and it has been feeling like we're skirting the outsides, but we're never really getting into the middle. And everything's like, again, very mysterious. And then we finally get into the plot, and I'm like, oh, I get it now. And we finally know the important people. I have a feeling like things are gonna start picking up from here, and we're gonna really get to see the plot finally move and finally shift. I was kind of confused by the love interest in the beginning, but now I think it's pretty obvious. But I don't know. I feel like there's just so much more that we haven't gotten to know yet, and I feel like there's going to be so much more that is going to be talked about. So I'm excited to continue reading because I feel like the plot is going to be epic. I haven't felt like interested, or I guess I can say I haven't really read a romantasy that makes me feel like this in a while, in a sense where the plot is just, you don't know where things are going, you don't know what's going to happen. And I also really like that the romance, yes, there is romance, but they're really focusing on Vasily's spying, on her trying to figure out her life. I hope I can finish this today because I really want to get to know what's going to happen next. I'm so scared. I feel like the ending is going to be cliffhanger. Hopefully I will enjoy the ending. Hopefully I'll enjoy like the storyline, but I'm gonna continue reading. I have about like 130 pages to the end, so we're gonna continue. Let's get to reading. I'm reading this and I can't stop smiling and giggling. You're reading it and you think it's just like, yeah, like a regular fantasy, and then you're in the claws and it's not gonna let you go. I am broken, I say, an admission or explanation, the only words I can string together. You are art, he says in response. Oh my god, I love this. 10 pages left to the end. What is going on? I finished reading A Dance of Lies yesterday. Wow, that ending. I don't know if maybe I was a little bit dumb or maybe I just did not really think too much when I was reading this book, but I truly did not see some of them coming. And the romance in here, although not gonna lie, it's not a lot, and also just really like how the plot went on. I love the ending. I am so excited to read the second book. I am gonna probably rate this like a 4.5. First off, I really like the characters. I liked Vasily. She had a lot of growth. I also really liked our love interest. Funny and witty and very smart. I think the way their relationship progressed was very real and very genuine. The plot was also very interesting. A lot of political intrigue, a lot of court politics. The one issue I have with this book, however, Vasily has a chronic illness. She is in pain. Yes, it is dived into in the beginning, but I think it lost itself a little bit in the middle. And for a while, I completely forgot that she was supposed to have a chronic illness. I think it would have added more depth into her character if we really dealt into the chronic illness and how that affects her dancing. I think for the most part, when it comes to her, like her sequence and stuff, you don't really see her chronic illness playing a role. I feel like she's still dancing as per normal, but then she will mention that she's in pain after the entire thing. And I think it would have been more exciting to have that incorporated into her dancing, maybe even incorporate into her romance, because I feel like it's not really talked about. But because I love this a lot, other than that chronic illness, I'm gonna be rating it at 4.5. I just really enjoyed this. I'm so happy I picked it up, and I'm so excited for the second book. It's a duology, so it should be the end, and I love that it's a duology. We're gonna pick up our next book. I have actually read a little bit of this. I've read a chapter, and it's Feathers So Vicious by Liv Xander. I'm not gonna lie, I'm actually a little bit iffy about picking this up, but I have been putting off like reading this just because it's a dark fantasy romance, and it's like dark, borderline morally black male main character. Dark romance is not my forte. I do read it sometimes, but I find that it's just too much sometimes and I can't really get into it, so I try not to read too much, and it's why I choose. So there's 2 males and 1 female. I don't actually know what the plot is going to be because the back of the book doesn't really explain much. We are following raven shifters, and then there's a princess who gets abducted, I think. But yeah, that is our second book. Let's read this. My hair is god awful. I cannot be bothered with it right now. It's currently like 4:30 p.m. and I've been reading in and out. Also, my back kind of hurts. Still reading Feather So Vicious. I have reached chapter 11. It's a dark fantasy romance, and it says on the book it's a dark fantasy romance, but I did not expect that dark. Like, it's dark. Lots of triggering aspects, lots of very gory and descriptive, disgusting scenes, and also just very triggering. The details to attention, yeah, dark. I have come to realize that maybe I'm not the biggest fan of like darker themes in books. Thankfully, the reading experience is honestly pretty fast and quick and easy. There is some sort of like world building in here, but it's being spread out throughout the entire story. You kind of learn things as you go. I am gonna continue reading. I haven't given up on it yet. Yeah, we're gonna take breaks, and I am going to take a little break before I continue reading this. That is my update. Just to let you guys know that it's very dark. Like, very dark. I don't think I gave you guys an update at all yesterday night. I actually fell asleep very, very early. I haven't really actually read a lot today, but I wanted to give an update. I have reached page 260 of Feather So Vicious, so I am more than halfway through this book. This book is actually really, really tough to read. The things these characters go through, I am telling you, I did not expect that kind of backstory, brutality they went through when they were young, to be so dark and depraved now. I completely understand, because whatever I just read, my heart hurts. I did not expect that when I was picking this book up. I really did not expect to be in a situation where I was struggling to actually get through the book because of like how dark this book is. The thing is, I didn't read any trigger warnings, which maybe I should have with this book, but I don't like reading trigger warnings because I hate spoilers. But in general, like a lot of topics I'm actually okay with, especially with dark romance books. I'm okay with them. I'm usually fine with it. And I do view them in a different light compared to a regular romance book. This one was honestly really, really, really tough. I'm gonna continue reading this because I'm about to be finished anyway, so hopefully I can get it up today. I've just been busy the entire day, so hopefully I'll be able to get this done at night. We shall see how fast I get through this, but yeah, that is my current update. I will catch up with you guys later. Read the ending. What? Oh my goodness. I'm gonna try and make this quick because it's really late right now. It's 10:30 p.m. and I am tired. I want to go to bed. I did finish Feather So Vicious. I did expect a little bit of what happened at the end. There was this one part I did not expect. Wow, that ending was so good. I remembered just having a little thought in my head that maybe that was true, but honestly I felt like it was a little bit far-fetched, and then it happened. I don't know how I feel about the main characters, the male main characters to be exact, but I love that ending. I actually really liked it. Now, as for my rating of this book, I think I'm gonna sit on it. It's very dark, it's very painful, and there are a lot of instances where I was questioning their values and morals, but I really like seeing Galantia's character growth and seeing her vision change, seeing the way she shift her mindsets, especially when it comes to her view of the ravens. I really like the way that she's slowly getting into herself and being more confident. I really liked seeing everyone's relationships come together. It was really fun, especially Malir and Galantia. If you like a mean main character, I think you'll really like this book. For a while, I was a little bit iffy about it, and then the ending saved it. And I felt like seeing the relationships grow also kind of saved it. So I'm gonna sit on my rating. I'm so happy I finished this today though, because I felt like for a while, at least at the halfway mark, I was about to give up on it. Then I pushed through and then it got really good. So let us pick out our next book. I actually don't know what book I'm gonna pick, so I'm gonna try and figure it out and see my physical TBR. I have a lot of romantasy books. Very excited to pick my next book. Hi guys, as y'all saw, I picked up The Silversmith by LJ Claren. I think I haven't given you guys any updates on this book. I recently got this, and the reason why I wanted to read this is because I'm very curious about it. I haven't heard a lot of people talk about this book, but I've gotten one comment of someone telling me that I would probably like it. So that's why I wanted to read it. I'm just very curious about it, and it seems like a pretty fast read. This is about Ari. She doesn't remember the last 17 years of her life. She has amnesia, and she just lives in poverty in this like one little city. And then suddenly a group of people come to her place and they claim that she's the lost queen who is going to save the world. And then there is also a marriage alliance with this one commander. You don't know anything because she also doesn't know anything, and you also don't know anything. So there's a lot of mystery in that. And then we get to know our love interest as well, who is a man cloaked in violence and secrets, cold, commanding, and maddeningly unreadable. But he is training her to kind of get into her powers because she's a queen. I don't know how I feel about him. I'm not gonna lie, this is a very romance heavy book. It really focuses on the romance. There's already pining, there's already like a mysterious backstory when it comes to our love interest and the way he played a role in the lost memories of our main character. I am enjoying this. The world building isn't complicated. The writing isn't complicated. It's very simple and easy to read. So good for beginners. Also, I have read up until chapter 13. This is page 143. I'm also absolutely tired, guys. I'm gonna conk out soon because it's 11 p.m. I was out the entire day. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Hopefully I'll give you guys more updates tomorrow. Hello, it is actually Monday. I didn't give you guys an update at all yesterday, which is a Sunday. I was busy this weekend. I didn't actually read a lot. Anyway, I am now at chapter 20. I'm in the middle of chapter 20. This is page 233, and I am more than halfway through The Silversmith. I do have some thoughts. As I've mentioned before, it does have the amnesia trope, and I am not that much of a hater if it's worked well into the plot. When I'm reading this book, the other book that came to mind that felt very familiar to this was When the Moon Hatched, the very popular one. I think 2 years ago it got hyped on Book Talk. The way our main characters are going through this memory loss, and then things kind of went a little bit differently in a sense where The Silversmith just doesn't have any fantasy world building whatsoever. It really just focused on the romance, full stop. We don't really get anything much with the side characters. They are mentioned, but I don't feel too much about them because they barely play a role in this book. And then there is the world, which we haven't really gotten to know anything about the world or the magic, how it came to be, what magic our main character has, what magic is running through the world, none of that. There's also the fact that our main character has been in seclusion all her life. She has been all alone for so long. These people come in to tell her that she's a long lost queen. There isn't any sort of suspicion that these people might be bad. She is very trustworthy, especially our love interest. That's where my problem lies, is that as somebody who has been living in seclusion, has been isolated from the world, and doesn't know anything, doesn't know the real history, doesn't know magic, doesn't know her own life, and she's so accepting of her position as a queen, and also the trust she's putting onto her love interest. That, I think, is the main issue I have. Doesn't seem like it's very believable as somebody who is suddenly thrown into such a different role than what she's used to be. We really just see our main characters. Every single chapter is just about them and what they're going through and how they can progress the tension and the romance and the romantic love that they have for each other. Maybe if you're looking for something that is very romance heavy and not complicated, very simple, it's super easy to read. Like, very easy to get through. If you're looking for that, I think you will like Silver. It's actually the next day at night. I was busy editing videos. I had to edit a reading vlog and get it uploaded today, and I had a few TikToks to edit, so I was busy editing the entire day, and I only had time to sit down and read at night. So I'm still on The Silversmith. I'm going to power through and hopefully get this done tonight. It is currently 9 p.m. For the most part, my thoughts stay the same, but I think I'm seeing a little bit of something in the works. Secrets, mysteries, and I think because of the secretive nature of this book and the many things we don't know, we don't really get a lot of character development, especially with the side characters. If you're going to get into this wanting a well fleshed out fantasy world, a good explained magic system, this is not going to give you anything because I don't understand magic. I still can't figure out what is going on. Hopefully I'll get it done today. Hopefully. Okay guys, I am done with The Silversmith by L.J. Claren. I finished this just now. This is kind of difficult to talk about because I've heard raving reviews of this book. Okay, let's just talk about the good things about this book. First off, if you do want a yearning man who has sacrificed a lot for the female main character, you would like this book. If you want a very, very romance-driven, very high romance, literally like what, 80% romance in a fantasy world, barely any world building, barely any magic system, you would like this book. This felt like a novella. It felt like a 0.5 instead of a 1. I feel that way by like the last 100 pages. I felt like this book just did not feel like a book on its own. Writing just did not hit. The writing was very, very premature. Is that the right word? Very surface level writing. Okay, it's not complicated at all. So actually, if you are getting into the romantasy world and it's like your first time reading romantasy and you want to try and getting into romantasies, then I think The Silversmith is for you. But as somebody who has read a lot of fantasy books and I love a good world building, I felt like this lacked in so many levels. There are two things about The Silversmith that honestly can irk some people. And I think it is very important for me to talk about them because if you do not like these two things, then I think this book is not for you. Basically, I want to talk about it because I think it's important to talk about it. But however, if you don't want any, I don't think they're spoilers. I personally don't think they're spoilers. One thing that irked me, and I don't know if this is just me being me or whatever. I don't care if you guys think I'm overreacting. Our female main character was 17 years old. Our male main character, age-wise, he is 31. Now, I'm all for an age gap, guys. I'm all for an age gap. You know me. I love an age gap. She's way younger than him. And then there's a part of the book as you continue on reading, our female main character has a hidden identity. And I think this is quite obvious because from the very beginning, it's pretty obvious that she was someone special, but you don't actually know who she was. And I'm not going to spoil that for you guys. But then here's the deal. She was married when she was, I want to say 16 years old. And the husband was like 19. I was so thrown off by the fact that she wasn't of legal age and they got married. Who the fuck allowed that? And this can be kind of like a, if you think it's a dark romance, it's fine type of situation. This happened in Feather So Vicious. There was SA going on, and I'm not talking about SA to the female main character. I'm talking about the male main character actually acting out a scene to our female main character. But our female main character felt like she was being SA'd by the MMC. Those are the two really, really big issues of this book, I think, that not a lot of people talk about. Well, actually, no one talked about this. No one talked about this. I've read reviews on Goodreads. It's a 4.15. I'm so sorry. I am so surprised by that because what do you mean? Those are the two main issues I had. I'm very conflicted. Don't know what to rate this book. That is also it for this reading vlog. I would like to reiterate that this went from really good to really bad very, very quickly. A Day of the Lies, still a 4.5 star read. I really, really like that. And then Feather So Vicious ended up being a 3-star read. So yeah, that is it for this reading vlog. I hope you guys enjoyed watching. I'm sorry that I'm ending it on a negative note. That is going to be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this and I will see you guys in the next one.